I did not know what path dark and covered, and her cheeks was a rosy red. Is that gonna work?
Yeah, I'm just gonna set this up.
Okay.
Get the microphone going.
At Tangled String Studio, we do several things. First of all, we have a recording studio. We have 1,100 square feet of space that's dedicated to recording different type of artists, anything from a small one-piece recording session to a large band. On the other half of the studio, I build guitars and mandolins. These are mostly fretted stringed instruments, and they're built, custom built here at the studio for different folks. I have an extensive background in engineering. I have a degree in mechanical engineering from Auburn University, and then I left Auburn and worked at NASA for 30 years, working mostly in space shuttle propulsion, propulsion system development. And that background, believe it or not, was very useful in understanding how sound is created and amplified in stringed instruments. When I'm looking for wood for a guitar, particularly on the top of the top of the guitar is really the heart of the instrument, because that's where all the sound energy, or the vibration energy, is driven into the sound box, and it has to vibrate perfectly so that you get good amplification of the tone. Well, that wood has to be cut in a very special way. I like the wood what's called quarter sawn. That means if you had a tree that was round like this, and the rays or the rings of the wood are going out like that, well, the wood needs to be taken right along those rings so that you go right across every one of those little rings. That gives you the strongest, most lightweight, most responsive cut of the wood. My engineering background's helped me out quite a bit in building quality instruments. A guitar and a mandolin, well, any instrument that is played, what you do is you take the artist's intention, what the artist wants, the sound they want to make, from them touching the instrument, from plucking a string, fretting a note, and amplify that. Now, you can amplify one single frequency, and for instance, if I were to amplify a frequency at 98 hertz, you're going to hear the second position G note. But that's kind of just one frequency, and it sounds, you would hear a G note, but it'd be very sterile. What you really want to do is hear that note and then all the sweeteners that go with it. It's harmonics and other tones that are associated with that G note. Well, what I like to do is make sure that my guitars vibrate just perfectly so that all those rich resonant tones are projected from the instrument. Now, vibration is a mechanical phenomenon. Everything vibrates. Rockets vibrate, and they'll have frequency that they prefer to vibrate at by the way they're made. Now, in a rocket, you want to stay away from those frequencies, because if you drive that rocket at that frequency, it'll come apart. On a guitar, you want to exploit it. You want to get right on top of those frequencies so that when the note is played, it will vibrate really quite a bit because it's resonant at that frequency. Now, I know when I test an instrument for what frequency it's vibrating at, what happens is I'll tap the instrument, and that's exciting it. It's making it vibrate. And then the microphone picks up those vibrations, and then it goes into the computer, and it does what's called a fast Fourier transform, FFTs. And it'll take that information and put it in a plot that shows me, here's where most of the energy is. So I'll have a peak in there that says at this frequency, that's where most of your energy is. Now, I'll either like that or not like that. And if I don't like it, I'll do something to the structure of the wood to move that frequency. For instance, if it's vibrating at a too high a frequency, well, I'll take some stiffness out of it by changing the height of the braces inside the guitar. I'll make those less tall, less moment of inertia, and therefore they vibrate at a little bit lower frequency. And all of a sudden that energy spectrum moves right to the frequency where I need it to. I think with my guitars as compared to a Martin guitar, Martin makes incredible guitars. But a guitar is an emotional connection. It's an emotional purchase. And my objective is to build a person their lifetime player, a companion they'll keep their whole life. I can do that because when I sit down to make a guitar, from the first time I talk with a customer, I'm making a guitar for that customer, and I'm the only person that's going to touch that instrument from the first chip that's made on the wood. And everything that goes into it is specific to decisions that that customer and I have made. For someone wanting to be a luthier, I would recommend, first of all, it's a lot of work. Now, for me, it's a passion and I love it, and it doesn't feel like work. But it's hard to do, and it takes a lot of patience. And you need to think of it as a long walk. It's going to take time, and when you start your craft, you need to be aware of that. It's just going to take a long time, and things are going to go wrong, and you're going to learn to fix them and things like that. But the thing I would say is, if you love making instruments or love making anything, just never, ever quit. Just keep working it until you perfect it.